Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Madison, and I'm the creator of this faithful home. So as you can already tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be talking about all things colonoscopy. So if you are not interested in hearing about TMI things related to a crappy situation, click off the video now. I have forewarned you, so if you are a trooper and want to know more about a colonoscopy or you really like my videos, make sure you stick along. If you are enjoying this video and you are sticking with me, make sure to hit that like button and comment down below if you've ever had a colonoscopy, or if you're new here trying to find out information about a colonoscopy, or if you really want to see how many times I can say the word colonoscopy in like 30 seconds, because I think we're up to like 7 now. And I'm about to do number 8 because I'm going to read the definition of a colonoscopy to you. The textbook definition of a colonoscopy says, a colonoscopy is an exam used to detect changes or abnormalities in the large intestine, your colon, and your rectum. During a colonoscopy, a long flexible tube, basically what a colonoscopy is, it's a procedure, which is a test where a tube goes up your butt, through your large intestine, into your colon, and it checks your colon to make sure, for me, it was to make sure that there were no abnormalities, that everything looked okay, that we could rule out any serious issues that was going on in my digestive tract, and we could check to make sure everything was good. Because if you didn't already know, I'm going through a lot of health issues, and one of the things my GI wanted to do was a colonoscopy to check to make sure everything was good. He's a great doctor and he just wanted to rule out everything. He thought that a lot of my problems were stemming from stress, whether that be environmental, a job, family, things that are manageable, or stress physically from my body, because I'm also dealing with a bulging disc in my back. And he was pretty confident that the stress was causing all these other issues with my digestive tract, but he also wanted to make sure that he did his job and did every test possible. And doing a colonoscopy is kind of like this big umbrella that checks for a myriad of different things, and so that's what they chose to do. And today I'm going to tell you about the terrible prep that it was for this colonoscopy. If you have to have it done and that's the reason why you clicked on this video, then keep watching, because I'm going to give you an honest truth and feedback of how I thought the prep for it went and just kind of the leading up to the colonoscopy. Because the procedure itself, you are put under anesthesia, and so you don't know or feel or remember any of the process. Like, it took 20 minutes and I was out cold, but I'll get to that later in the video. But the biggest and hardest part of it is the prep that leads up to it, because you have to have your colon and your large intestine completely clean, like nothing whatsoever inside you. And so you're probably thinking, how's that possible? Oh wait, there's these things called laxatives. I documented on my Instagram account. If you aren't already following it, make sure to check it out here. And I did a pretty much like I think 36 hours worth of documenting, just like a play-by-play of everything going on. And so I'm going to walk you through that now and kind of explain each step of the process, and then insert the clips probably like on this side of the screen. That way you guys can see the real live footage of me going through the prep, as well as me explaining everything now. So leading up to the day before the colonoscopy, my doctor put me on a 5-day low fiber diet, which is designed to help your body be able to like process and break down the food more easily, because if something is very fibrous, I guess it sits in your stomach longer. Even though it helps you to stay regular, it seems kind of like counterintuitive, but the doctor told me that I needed to be on a 5-day low fiber diet. So at this point during the 5 days, I was still allowed to have dairy, which I'm lactose intolerant. So I was drinking my plant protein milk very sparingly, because the derivatives of the plant protein milk don't necessarily correlate with regular milk. And so I drank that very sparingly. Other things that were okay to eat were like chicken, ground turkey, and fish. So I ate a lot of ground turkey and chicken. I really didn't have any fish in the fridge, so I stuck with those two meat sources. I was not allowed to eat any beans for those 5 days, so no dried beans, black, pinto, lima beans, anything of that sort, as well as nuts. I couldn't have any peanuts or cashews or any nuts of that matter. Like I said, I did eat a lot of peaches and mango, and if I did have fruit, they had to have the peel taken off. I could only eat the inside, not the peel. So like I got peaches that were frozen and already peeled from the grocery store and ate those, but they'd be really soft as well, so they were easy to digest. And then I was able to eat sweet potatoes and regular russet potatoes, as long as, like I said, with the fruits, these apply to the same with the vegetables. They had to be skinned and really mushy and mashed in order for me to be able to eat them. And then I think I ate like carrots that were soft as well. So that was 5 days leading up to it. I really just ate like white rice and like fruit and a little bit of soup, and like that's all I ate, and it was terrible. Like I said, I really didn't have an appetite going into this prep, and that was due to other things, including the bulging disc that I have, and so I didn't really understand or know it at the time, but that did have a lot of effect on my appetite. So it actually kind of helped me because I wasn't like indulging in eating a ton of food before the prep, which meant there wasn't as much in my system to clean out. So I think that kind of helped, but it also like wasn't the greatest way to do it, but that's kind of how it happened for me. So okay, so then leading up to the day before the colonoscopy, so I had it on a Monday. This meant Sunday morning was starting my all liquid diet. That meant the only things that I could consume were water, black coffee, tea, and chicken broth, as long as it wasn't like certain brands of chicken broth. And then I could have apple juice or like white cranberry juice or lemonade if I wanted to as well, but we didn't really have that stocked in the fridge. So I pretty much stuck with coffee, water, a little bit of tea. I think I may have had some tea somewhere in there, and then chicken broth. And this is when I started my Instagram story to keep everyone updated. Good morning, everyone. So a little update for you for today and tomorrow. I'm having a colonoscopy done tomorrow, which means today starts an all liquid diet and then not fun stuff later tonight. But I figured I'd take you throughout the day today and kind of let you know what I'm going to be drinking today in my all liquid diet and how I'm preparing for a colonoscopy. So, good morning. And then these next few slides here show how I drank some black coffee, and then I filled up this hydro flask full of water. And then my doctor thought it would be really good for me to drink about 8 ounces of water every hour. He wanted me to stay really hydrated. It would help me flush everything out of my system, as well as just staying hydrated throughout the process. So I set that goal for myself. And then I watched other YouTubers just to kind of distract myself while I was doing a little bit of crafting. At this point in the morning, I still had like some energy and I had a coffee in me, so I was feeling like pretty good. And then I was really proud of myself because I finished my first bottle of water, and then it was time for round 2. And this is when it started going downhill because, as you can read on the screen, that was not coffee, that was chicken broth. And let me just tell you, like, chicken broth is amazing when it's in chicken noodle soup or like any type of soup with other things in it, but not by itself. Like, it just tasted really bland, and it just made me want carrots and chicken and noodles and everything, like so much more in it. But I was smiling through it, and actually it was kind of funny because I was really excited that I had 2 donut coffee mugs, and it just, you know, the little things that helped me get through this process. But this was still early in the morning. This was, at this point, I think I started this prep at like 8 o'clock in the morning whenever I woke up. So you figure like an hour into it. So it's probably around 9 o'clock now that I'm feeling still like pretty good. And this is the day before the colonoscopy. And basically, look, here's me drinking more water again. Oh, wait for it. More chicken broth. Who's excited? And this is kind of when we started going downhill. I apparently was trying to fill up the Brita, and that didn't work out so well. So at this point, I was really hungry. I was starting to lose my energy. As you can see here, I was pretty drained. All right, guys, so it's almost 6 o'clock, and that means I have to start this next process for the colonoscopy prep that is not going to be fun. It involves taking half of this bottle and mixing it with 2 things of Gatorade. So 64 ounces, and I have to drink the entire 64 ounces in 2 hours. This will be fun. All right, pretty much this next step is where it got terrible. Obviously, you could see in that last clip, I had to take Miralax and combine it with Gatorade, and I was just so fatigued, and I was like, I'll mix it in my hydro flask. Just kidding, there's not enough room for it. Now I have to mix it in this big old pitcher, and I bought like a really big bottle of Miralax instead of like the 2 smaller ones that they tell you to buy because it was like cheaper. And I had a food scale so I could like weigh out the exact gram that I was supposed to mix into it. And so then this started the fun journey. This was Sunday night, so between the hours of 6 o'clock at night till 8 o'clock at night, I had to drink all 64 ounces of Gatorade with an entire, or like for that bottle, half a bottle of Miralax mixed in. If you are prepping for a colonoscopy and you want to know what you should mix the Miralax with, my doctor told me to mix it with Gatorade. You just can't use like red, yellow, or purple or something like that because any liquid residue that's still in the lining of your colon can sometimes be mistaken for blood, and so they can't have those colors. But I did get some advice from people that said, like, don't mix it with a flavor that you like because you'll never drink that flavor again. I'm going to tell you guys, mix it with a flavor you like. Make sure you love the flavor that you're drinking because by the end of it, it's going to suck to drink, right? So you want to have something that you at least still enjoy-ish to get through it, because if I had to drink like a flavor that I hated from the very beginning, I would never have been able to do it. I barely, which you'll see later in this video, made it through it with a flavor that I enjoyed. And there's no way I'm gonna drink Gatorade for like a long time anyway, so it might as well be something that you like so it'll help the process just a little bit more. I guess I may have started complaining at this point, and David is a champ for putting up with me, but here's what he had to say about that.
All she's doing is complaining about drinking this. My water, it's gritty! Suck it up and drink it.
Alright guys, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna chill and go to bed early because I have to be up at least like 6:30, 6:45 because from 7 to 9 I have to drink. David's playing Xbox. I have to drink another 64 ounces of this Gatorade Miralax mix, so I have to wake up and start that between 7 and 9, and then I'll go to my appointment later in the afternoon. All right, so that's how Sunday night went, and a little bit more recap for you on things that I experienced and my advice. If I could give you like 5 tips. Tip number 1, make sure that you don't have anything planned that day because you're not gonna have a lot of energy, you're not gonna wanna do anything, you're gonna wanna sit on the couch and just watch some Netflix the entire day. Tip number 2, make sure that you have someone there to support you through it because my husband was a champ, making sure that I drank my Gatorade, and he was very supportive of me, and that made like a world of difference doing it alongside someone. Tip number 3, don't go far from the bathroom. Like, I'm talking, my house is small, so if you've seen any videos of my house before, you know that we don't live in a big house, but even the fact that I had to run from the couch to the bathroom, I kid you not, every 3 to 5 minutes throughout the night, you don't want to go far. You want to have a quick run, a straightaway shot to the bathroom, and yep, you just understand why, because you're drinking an entire tub of Miralax. What do you expect, right? Tip number 4, when you are having to run to the bathroom several million times throughout the night, make sure that you have like baby wipes or some sort of like soft wipe instead of toilet paper, and start it from the very beginning. So as soon as that Miralax starts to hit you, which for me, I started drinking it at 6 p.m. and it really started hitting my stomach around 7. So it took like an hour for it to kick in. Right from then, I started using baby wipes instead of toilet paper, and your butt will thank you later. Trust me. Like, you don't want to wait until it's raw to have to switch to something else, and then it's just not going to get any better. I never had an issue with any rawness or anything. I know TMI, sorry, you're still watching this video, so you get what you get. But it's because I used baby wipes from the very beginning, and so that definitely helped. And tip number 5, good luck. I think I was supposed to have 5, but I only had 4. Let me think. I guess tip number 5 would just be make sure you're still drinking plenty of water. Like, I was drinking the prep stuff from 6 to 8, but I still made sure that I got a lot of water intake throughout the day as well, and that really helped me clear out my system pretty quickly and efficiently. Ready to continue to the morning of the prep. 7:02 by the time I got out of bed, which wasn't too bad. My alarm, funny story actually, I set my alarm for 6:50, I think, or 6:45, and I told David that I had to be up before 7 because I had to get the stuff mixed and measured and then start drinking it like right at 7 o'clock. So I had enough time in that window to get it all in. Well, David didn't hear this because he slept through it, but my alarm went off at 6:45 and I literally opened my eyes and went, no, I don't want to get up. No, don't make me. Who am I talking to? But I yelled it out loud. I don't know how he didn't wake up to it, but it was like, yep, here we go. Another day of suck. But at least, silver lining, it was the day of the appointment, so I was on the upward bound. All I could think about at that time was food, though. Also, it got really hard at this point to drink the Miralax Gatorade mix because I didn't have anything in my system, and I was just so tired, and it was gross at this point. Good morning, guys. I gotta drink this and one more by 9 o'clock. All right, guys, real talk. Excuse me. Exactly, that's what I was going to talk about. Sorry, this is real and honest TMI, but I need to take a break. I don't know if I can finish both bottles today. This is going to be rough. And at this point, like, I didn't document pretty much anything for like 2 hours because David had to almost force me to drink it in like a very encouraging and motivating way. And what I mean by that is it was hard. I was getting really nauseous and it would just like sit right here in my chest and I didn't want to drink anymore. And so my window was supposed to be drinking it from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then I was no more liquid, nothing after 9 a.m. because you need to have a certain amount of time for everything to get flushed out of your system before you go to your procedure. Well, I think I finished my final drink around 9:45, 9:50, which my procedure wasn't until 1 in the afternoon, so I knew that was still okay. But it took me all of those 3 hours to get the drinks in, and David actually had to take my purple hydro flask that I had everything in, and he took it back to the kitchen where the pitcher was. He put all of the mixture in the pitcher and then would pour it into like little glasses, and he would bring me the little glass and tell me, okay, you only have like 5 more of these glasses left, you can do it. And it was like a normal, drinking glass type thing. And so then he made it seem like it was tiny little steps that we're getting to. And so I would drink that glass down, feel nauseous, gross, in between running to the bathroom like 5 or 6 times, and then he would come back with another glass. And that's how I got through it because it was really hard. Like, I just felt like complete crap. I was depleted. It was awful. Like, bless his heart for putting up with me because I was complaining a lot. But right after I finished that last drink, and I think I have it in here, I was like a whole different person after I finished that last drink. Like, it was 9:45 and I'm like, okay, I'm good now because I know that I don't have to drink that ever again. And so then pretty much I just let everything clear out of my system and ran back and forth to the bathroom and then got ready for I took a shower probably at like 11, and then we got ready and left around like 11:45 because we were supposed to get checked in to the hospital, like outpatient center, by 12:15. And so here's like we're on our way to the hospital, and then I got our tag and everything. Then they had to move me from like the check-in area over to the different like room. I don't remember what it was called. So then from there, we only had to sit like maybe 10 minutes until they called me back. And I was actually in the bathroom again when they called my name. So then when I walked back in, my husband was like, oh, they're ready for you. So I went up to the front, and the lady gave me like this slip and told me, okay, go to the elevator, take the 4th floor. You're gonna go up to that wing and go through the double doors, and that's where they'll be waiting for you. So like, okay, let's move to another room. So we went up in the hospital, and then when we got there, we were welcomed by 2 very, very energetic women. They were like, had just had some conversation about something, and they were giggling, and it just like brightened my spirits. They were super cool. Like, they got me all checked in and everything, and had me, you know, dressed down into the gown, and then I was laying on the hospital bed, and we were just like having conversations about work and life and everything. And it was like really nice and just made me relax, because I was nervous. I mean, I wasn't nervous for the procedure itself because I was going to be knocked out, but that moment in time from when you're conscious to when you're under anesthesia, that part kind of like ears me a little bit, gives me, I don't know. I don't know. So she was able to comfort me and everything. And then my doctor that was going to be doing the procedure, he came in, the GI doctor, and he sat down and talked to me for a little bit before we went back into the room. And then they put like the IV in me and had me all set up. And then they wheeled me over to the other wing of the hospital where I was going to have the procedure done. And then that's when the anesthesiologist came in, and she explained what's going to happen, that she would be there the entire time administering the anesthesia. And it was like it would go into the IV in my arm. The anesthesia was called propofol. Propofol? Yeah, propofol. And she told me about how like she would be sitting right next to the doctors while they do it, and she was holding on to the controls of the propofol, and that she would start it right as they're about to start the colonoscopy, and then as soon as the cameras came out, that she would stop administering it, and then it would take about like 10 to 20 minutes for me to wake up after that. And so everyone was really nice. They were really cool. They made me feel really at ease. They brought me into the room. They did their like setup and everything. They had me roll onto my left side, and then they just talked to me until I don't remember anything. And then I woke up in recovery. Actually, it was kind of funny because I wasn't out for that long. I think total I was probably out like 40 minutes maybe, because it took 20-ish minutes to do the procedure and then time for me to like wake up and everything. I think I was only out for like 40 minutes. When I woke up, I was laying on my back and I was in the recovery room, and I remember going, oh no, I'm not supposed to wake up. I have to be asleep for this. And then I looked around and I was like, where am I? I'm not in the same room I was in. And they're like, yep, we're done. And I like looked at my watch and it was like 1:50. I'm like, oh, well, here's me in the recovery room once I got to stamp a photo, because you got to take that selfie, right? The nurse grabbed my husband from like the waiting room, and so he came in the recovery room, and it was me and him, the nurse, and then the doctor. And he explained to me that like, and showed me pictures inside my intestines, which I don't know what happened to that paper. Like, we gotta pull our records to find it, but it was actually really cool to look at. It was kind of weird, but like I thought it was kind of cool too, because like that's inside my body, and you guys took those pictures, and like, wow, technology is pretty amazing. And they did find a couple ulcers that they just wanted to keep an eye on. Nothing major. They just wanted to make sure that I don't really take any like ibuprofen or Tylenol or something that could like irritate them in the meantime, but they're not really concerned about it. They're just wanting to be good and precautious about it. Anyways, but everything else came back perfect. I didn't have anything wrong with me. There was no signs of anything terrible. They took a couple biopsies, which is pretty normal. Those got sent off. And as I'm making this video, it has been 6 days since my colonoscopy, and I haven't heard anything back from the doctor, which no news is good news oftentimes, because if something serious were to have come back in the biopsy, then they probably would have called me by now. So I'm pretty confident in that. And then guys, let me tell you my favorite part about this process is when the nurse told me I can go home and eat whatever I wanted. I'm talking anything. She said, just be, mindful of the fact that you have nothing in your system, but you can eat whatever you want. And I wanted mac and cheese so badly. So David made me Daiya brand, gluten-free, lactose-free mac and cheese. It was delicious and I got to eat that, and he brought me some raspberries and I ate like the entire container. Oh, here we go. There's my mac and cheese. And then let's see, I went back. He went to go run some errands and go see his dad. And so, which was fine because at that point, like I was tired because I didn't have any food in me and I just was like knocked out under anesthesia. But like recovery was like nothing. They told me at most I would have gas in my stomach just from the air that they like put inside your intestines to blow it up for the camera and for making the camera like easier to bend and move in your body. But she said like pretty much all of that dissolves, and so I won't have to worry about like any real discomfort, maybe just a little bit of gas, which oh well. But I really didn't experience that. I was really tired though. So after I ate a whole box of mac and cheese, a whole thing of raspberries, and then I went back to the fridge and grabbed the Reese's cups that David bought me for Valentine's Day. I think I had like 6 Reese's cups. I ate all of them because Valentine's Day was obviously on Friday the 14th. My colonoscopy was 3 days later, so I was already in the low fiber diet, so I couldn't eat any of them at that point. So man, I went to town on those things. And then, as you can see here, I napped for 4 hours while he was gone. I only woke up to his phone call saying he was on his way home, and I was like, oh, apparently I napped this whole time. That's okay. And then pretty much after that, he and I watched Mission Impossible, and then we just chilled the rest of the night, and then I went to bed. But really, the procedure itself went really well. The prep was terrible. I mean, not gonna sugarcoat it in the slightest. It was terrible. But I can now say that I've had a colonoscopy and I've made it through and it was okay. So hopefully that kind of gave you guys a little bit of an idea and insight into what it's like to prep for a colonoscopy. I hope you found this very informative and entertaining. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and then let me know down below, like I said at the beginning, let me know if you've had a colonoscopy or if you are prepping for one right now and that's how you found this video, or if you're just one of my great followers that will watch any of my videos, which I appreciate so much. And speaking of followers, if you are not following my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button so that you feel welcomed into this faithful home with me. If you are newer to my channel, I post videos every Wednesday and Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I make lifestyle, home, crafting, vlog type videos, and the platform behind my channel is sharing the gifts and talents that God has given me to motivate and inspire others. And I hope that's what I'm doing for you guys today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing. Make sure you do it with a smile on your face, and I will see you next time in another video. Bye guys!